Life is full of quiet crossroads, moments where a single decision could change everything. Looking back, I see these turning points so clearly now, like signposts I once missed. The real shifts aren't grand gestures but small, intentional choices that quietly shape our lives. If you're listening, maybe it's your sign to find a more direct route to peace and purpose. Let's begin this journey together. For much of my early life I lived as a passenger in my own story, outsourcing responsibility and blaming circumstances or others for my unhappiness. This mindset felt safe, but it kept me stuck, always waiting for the world to change. The turning point was realizing the common denominator in my problems was me, and that meant I could finally take control. The shift from blame to ownership is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It moves you from the passenger seat into the driver's seat of your life. Suddenly, you're no longer a victim of your circumstances. You're the architect of your response. When you take ownership, you cut the tethers of blame and find emotional freedom. You can't control the wind, but you can always adjust your sails. This is the beginning of true, unshakable confidence. For years, saying no felt harsh and selfish. My default was always yes. Yes to projects, events, and listening, even when I was exhausted. I became a chronic people pleaser, believing my worth depended on others' approval. But this life is exhausting. Eventually I realized always saying yes means losing yourself. Learning to say no was not about becoming selfish or uncaring. It was really about learning to be honest. It was about understanding that a genuine yes can only come from a place where no is also an option. A no that is spoken with clarity and kindness is honestly an act of respect, both for yourself and for the other person. It is a declaration that you value your time, your energy, and your well-being. It is the first and most crucial step in setting healthy boundaries, which are the invisible fences that protect our inner peace and preserve our integrity. The transformation began with small, manageable steps. It started with saying, "Let me check my calendar and get back to you," instead of an automatic yes. This simple phrase created a pause, a sort of sacred space for me to check in with myself and honestly assess my capacity. Did I have the time? More importantly, did I have the emotional and physical energy? This small buffer was honestly revolutionary. It allowed me to move from a place of unconscious reaction to conscious choice. It was in these pauses that I began to hear my own inner voice again, whispering what I truly needed. Setting boundaries is, in many ways, an art form. It's not about building walls to shut people out. It's about building a gate and realizing you are the one who gets to decide who and what comes in. A healthy boundary might sound like, "I'm not able to help with that right now, but I can support you in this other way," or "I only have about 15 minutes to talk as I need to focus on a deadline." It is clear, compassionate, and firm. With every no I spoke, my self-respect grew. I began to realize that the right people, the people who truly cared for my well-being, would respect my limits. The ones who didn't were, well, revealing their own lack of respect. This simple decision to say no more often was a profound act of self-reclamation. It was a commitment to stop abandoning myself. The exhaustion began to lift, replaced by a sense of solidity and centeredness. My relationships improved because they became more authentic. The people in my life were interacting with the real me, not the overextended, resentful performer I used to be. My yes became more powerful and meaningful because it was given freely and intentionally, not out of obligation or fear. Saying no didn't close doors, it opened the door to a more authentic, sustainable, and joyful life. Have you ever wondered what all your purchases truly cost? Not just in money but in time and potential? I chased trends thinking I was building value, but I was just filling a beautifully decorated cage. Real growth comes from investing in yourself, not things. The true cost of neglecting self-investment is the person you could have become, but didn't. The turning point for me wasn't a single dramatic event. It was a slow, quiet awakening. It began with a small decision to buy a book instead of a new shirt, to spend a Saturday afternoon at a workshop instead of at the mall. And what I discovered was a different kind of return. It wasn't flashy or immediate. It was a deep, resonant feeling of growth. It was the quiet confidence that comes from understanding a new concept, the empowerment of mastering a small part of a new skill. Unlike the fleeting high of a purchase, this feeling didn't fade, it compounded. Every new piece of knowledge became a building block for the next. This shift from external accumulation to internal cultivation changed everything. I started to see myself as the most important asset I would ever manage. My time, my energy, my money, these were all forms of capital to be invested wisely in my own development. I began to actively seek out opportunities for growth. I enrolled in online courses, I started listening to podcasts that challenged my thinking, I found mentors who could guide me. I invested in my physical health through better nutrition and exercise, and in my mental health through therapy and mindfulness practices. Each investment was an act of profound self-respect, a declaration that I was worthy of my own resources. The returns on these investments have been immeasurable, far exceeding any stock market gain or material acquisition. The knowledge from one book gave me the clarity to navigate a difficult conversation. The discipline from one course gave me the tools to launch a new project. The self-awareness from therapy helped me build healthier, more authentic relationships. It's a beautiful upward spiral. The more you invest in yourself, the more capable you become. The more capable you are, the more you can contribute to the world. And the more you contribute, the more fulfilling your life becomes. It's the ultimate positive feedback loop. So I ask you to look at your own life. Where are your resources flowing? Are you investing in things that depreciate the moment you acquire them? Or are you investing in the one asset that will grow with you every single day? It's never too late to change your portfolio. Start small. Buy the book. Take the course. Sign up for the gym. Prioritize that therapy session. Redirect your precious energy inward, toward your own growth, your own learning, your own well-being. Because the most profound and life-altering decision you can make is to bet on yourself. The returns, I promise you, will change everything. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from a place that's slowly suffocating you. Leaving a toxic environment, work, friends, or even family, can be terrifying, but staying drains your spirit and dims your light. We often choose the cage with the open door, forgetting how to fly. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. Your peace is worth more than any comfort found in misery. Walking away is not an act of weakness. It is an act of profound self-preservation. It is the ultimate declaration that your peace is non-negotiable. My own departure from toxicity wasn't a single triumphant stride, but a series of shaky, uncertain steps. It was filled with guilt, second-guessing, and the fear that I had made a terrible mistake. The voices of doubt, both internal and external, were deafening. Are you sure about this? What if you can't find anything better? Maybe it wasn't that bad. This is the final test of a toxic environment. It tries to pull you back in by making you question your own reality. But then, slowly, something remarkable begins to happen. In the space you've created, silence begins to settle. Not an empty silence, but a peaceful one. You start to hear your own thoughts again, clear and undistorted by the noise of negativity. Your energy, no longer siphoned off by constant drama and defense, begins to return to you. It's like coming up for air after being held underwater for too long. That first breath of clean, fresh air is so restorative, so life-giving, that it validates the entire terrifying swim to the surface. You start to remember who you were before the toxicity began to define you. You realize that by leaving what was wrong for you, you create the space for what is right. New opportunities, healthier relationships, and a renewed sense of purpose begin to flow into the vacuum you've created. When you are no longer in survival mode, you can finally begin to thrive. Your creativity returns, your laughter becomes more genuine, and your outlook on life shifts from cynical to hopeful. You understand that your environment is not just a backdrop, it's a co-creator of your reality. Choosing an environment that nourishes you is not selfish, it is essential for your growth and for the gifts you are meant to share with the world. If you find yourself in a place that consistently costs you your peace, I want you to know that you have permission to leave. It will be scary, it will be hard, but on the other side of that fear is a version of yourself that is waiting to be reclaimed, a version that is peaceful, powerful, and free. Your well-being is the most sacred ground you will ever stand on. Have the courage to remove anything and anyone that pollutes it. Walking away isn't quitting, it's choosing yourself. It's choosing life, and it's a decision you will wish you had made so much sooner. We live in a culture that worships motivation. We scroll through inspiring quotes, waiting for that spark before we act. But motivation is like the weather, unpredictable and fleeting. True progress comes from discipline, showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the quiet force that builds your dreams, long after motivation fades. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishment. Unlike motivation, which is a feeling, discipline is a system. It's the conscious decision to do what you know you need to do, regardless of how you feel. It's about building routines and habits that carry you forward on the days when inspiration is nowhere to be found. It's about being a pro, not an amateur. An amateur works when they feel inspired. A pro works every day. Discipline is what turns your wishes into a concrete schedule, your dreams into a to-do list. It's the muscle of execution. The shift for me came when I stopped asking, do I feel like it, and started asking, does this action align with my goals? I detached my actions from my emotions. I created a non-negotiable routine for my most important tasks. The first hour of my day was for deep work, whether I felt creative or not. I went to the gym 3 times a week, whether I felt energetic or not. I made the commitment to the process, not the feeling. And a remarkable thing happened. By consistently showing up, I began to build something far more valuable than motivation. I built self-trust. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you do the thing you said you would do, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. You are sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind. I am reliable. I can count on myself. This self-trust is the bedrock of confidence and self-esteem. It's a quiet internal strength that doesn't need external validation or a jolt of motivation. It comes from the accumulated evidence of your own consistency. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going, and self-trust is the ultimate reward for your journey. So how do you build this muscle? You start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Choose one small, manageable habit and commit to it. Make your bed every morning. Read for 10 minutes every day. Go for a walk during your lunch break. The size of the action doesn't matter as much as the consistency of the repetition. Let go of the need to feel inspired. Instead, fall in love with the process of showing up. Embrace the quiet power of discipline, and you will build a life that your motivated self could only dream of. In a world that celebrates multitasking, I chased many skills, always starting, never finishing. I collected hobbies like trinkets, but never built real expertise. My foundation was wide but shallow, leaving me feeling replaceable and invisible. The real shift came when I chose one skill and committed to going deep. Focus turned my scattered energy into progress, like a laser beam, not a diffused light. Choosing one core skill was daunting. I listened to my inner voice and chose writing, not the flashiest, but it felt like home. For a year I focused deeply, turning down distractions and dedicating myself to mastery. True mastery was slow and humbling, but I found joy in the process and small breakthroughs. As my skill grew, opportunities found me. Focus made me irreplaceable, not just to others, but to myself. For years I believed more hustle meant more success. More hours, more projects, more meetings. But I was sprinting a marathon, running on adrenaline, and losing touch with my creativity and well-being. Eventually, I made a counterintuitive choice. I decided to slow down, to create space for reflection and clarity. True progress isn't about speed, but about finding direction in the quiet moments between the noise. Slowing down isn't laziness, it's about trading frantic activity for focused action. By blocking out intentional pauses in my day, I found clarity and creativity. Like letting muddy water settle, my best ideas emerged in quiet moments, not in the hustle. Slowing down gave me control, helping me respond thoughtfully instead of reacting habitually. The intentional pause is a quiet rebellion, and the secret to moving forward, not just faster, but better. These decisions weren't just life hacks, they changed who I am. They turned me from drifting through life to someone I respect and trust. Your next chapter doesn't need permission or perfect conditions. All it needs is a single, intentional decision, made by you, for you. The journey begins with one step. Your transformation starts now. These 7 decisions didn't just change my productivity, they changed my identity. They made me someone I respect, someone I trust. It's never too late to start. Your next chapter doesn't need permission, just a decision. If one of these decisions hit home for you, tell me which one in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to Risevo for more real-life lessons that hit deeper than motivation. Let's grow together.